Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to the first session of Golden Ticket.
Woohoo! I've been waiting for this.
Oh, that's good. We're going to do a little bit of world building and the crew thing.
I think so, yeah, because that's the only thing we haven't built. You and I have both built our characters already,
Yep.
and I guess I go ahead and introduce mine. I am playing Random, aka Riley Dorsey, who is the Rift of the movie monster. She basically can embody whatever movie monster she can think of. She was raised in a laboratory um, most of her life and has recently escaped. This is a concept I've been wanting to play for a while. Um, so she, it's an interesting character, and she doesn't exactly think normally. It'll be a challenge to properly personify her. Anyway, that's my character.
Yes. Well, hopefully, I'll be throwing a few roadblocks in her way. My character is Laurie Murray. They are a school counselor. Mostly, they don't realize they're a rift yet, um, and their rift is the final girl because that was the best foil I could think of for the ultimate expression of movie monsters as a mythos.
Yes, this is it. This is an interesting combination of people working together.
Oh yes, and I'm very much looking forward to what what is in store here.
As
Um,
as a side note, we haven't done our initial help hurt yet either.
no, we have not. That is the thing we will have to do. Now, when you say that random is very recently escaped, the first scenario will involve, well, not the escape itself, but
The,
the end of the escape and
the
naturally meeting Laurie.
okay, so yeah, we don't actually have to do the. We probably won't do the help hurt then. We can probably build it up as we go along, since the help hurt assumes we've met before.
Hmm, that will speed things along a bit, but we do need a crew theme.
Yep, and three questions.
Indeed.
I think we talked about trapped in the film or trapped in the fiction, or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty good, and that, yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Trapped in the fiction.
Yep. And
So the identity would be
that's whether it's like the mystery and statement of a theme, so it's either a question or a statement.
who's writing this book.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Or film, or yeah, story.
Story, yes.
Okay. And I guess the concept is random, and Lori are having their lives intruded on by trope by horror movie tropes.
Yes. So, Trotacular horror?
The concept one is just a description. It doesn't have to be something specific. But
True, true.
But Troptacular Horror is better than what I put.
That's okay. It's fine. All right. Power tag questions. We do not have to ask A, which you usually have to do with most theme books.
We do not have to ask A. Ooh. So, if we're just meeting, do we want to fill this in as we go along?
Nascent crew theme.
We'll start. Yeah, I guess maybe start with one crew, one power tag, and one weakness, and then build up from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Um,
So, how do you help, assist, or support one another? Where do you meet, work, rest, or prepare for action? What have you learned to do well together? Who is guiding, backing, or assisting your operation? How do you get around? What environments or situations are you most comfortable in?
might be the best one for us.
Yeah. What special sources of information do you have? What sort of reputation or name have you made for yourselves? Not had that one yet. What approach or tactic do you share in tackling challenges? What kind of special gear, resource, or power is at your disposal?
I think what environments or situations are you most comfortable in?
Yep. I was thinking a school situation. I'm thinking early undergrad college in my character, just to be in a comfortable age range.
Hmm. Okay.
I
So
could
you're
do
not.
high school that way. That's fine.
It works either way. What I mean, my character's obviously an adult. Um,
Yep.
so would you rather be younger or rather be older so that there could be like romantic possibilities without it getting creepy?
I I don't think I think random's quite far away from romantic, so so I'm going to go ahead and go with um, high school at about 17.
17. Okay. This fits. Um,
Granted, she's not going to be an official student for until towards the end of this case.
well, yes, but that won't be an issue until after this case because
Yeah.
I took that into account, which is good.
Yep.
So let's see, how do we word this power tag? School days is a. You could always go for the pun with days being DAZE.
Yep.
Um,
Uh,
high school shenanigans.
I think shenanigans is a little bit different word for a something that's going to have a lot of horror tropes.
Yeah, this is true. Um, prom night.
uh, campus conditions.
Good one. For added alliterative appeal. Weakness tag questions. What is flawed or lacking in the way you operate together? How do you get each other into trouble? Who or what are you all afraid of? What places or situations do you find tough to handle?
And I'm going to think it's A, and we're kind of natural nemesis, and we have that alliterative thing again. That was be my suggestion. Do you have another?
No, I like that one. I've already written it down.
Okay.
Oh, I was, just as an aside, I also was reading through what you can do when you get attention, and I hadn't realized you could rewrite a power tag or weakness tag.
Oh, that's I forgot that as well.
Hmm.
And we also have been doing the thing of only marking one weakness at a time because slowing progression advancement. but I think the game encourages you to mark multiple weaknesses if they all apply.
Yes. I also didn't realize that the game really encourages you to lose the theme books that have a lot of power tags and improvements.
I think it's a balancing thing. I mean, there's some of this is to the meta. Some of that is a little bit meta thinking. Um, that it's like, oh, that one has a lot of things. If I break it, I'll get a lot of XP. But
Well, well, yes, but I mean, I do a lot of meta thinking just to have narrative stuff happen as well. Like, so
yeah,
you know,
every game has meta thinking. It's just different people are comfortable with different sorts of meta.
yeah, this
Um,
is true.
and we're comfortable with narrative thinking. Um, but yeah, there is definitely some encouragement for breaking the really enhanced ones. Um, but on the other, it's a balance because the really enhanced ones are really powerful.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a juggling thing. Like right now, the silver circle's really powerful on your character.
Oh yes, and but I don't want that to go away because it's a big narrative part of the character. Not until I can get the HQ thing.
I love this about this system is you can crack the themes you want to crack and keep the themes you want to keep.
All right, I have an opening monologue. Aren't I fancy?
Ooh, go for it. I want to hear.
Okay. Buffeting winds roll through the forest, bending and rocking trees around the running teenager in ripped clothes. She can't remember how long she's been running for. She can barely remember what she's running from. Cold steel needles, concrete walls, men in masks. What she remembers is pain, and like a wounded animal, she runs until she can't run anymore. The constant deluge of heavy droplets hammer down on everything, turning the dirt under her bare feet into mud. What drives her on is light, constant warm light of electric bulbs rather than the cold flicker of neon tubing. Pausing at the tree line, kneeling between large gnarled roots, rain dripping down her face like tears, she can barely hear the whir of the generator in the shed behind the log cabin before her. It's hard to hear anything over the white noise of the leaves and the rain hitting the nearby lake. The building stands on stilts, and she can see the dry space under the structure, open and inviting. Shadows move across the drawn blinds inside. Crossing the lawn, confident that no one can hear her or see her, she crawls under the log cabin and finally allows herself to collapse into a ball on dry earth, shivering. Feet clomp on the floorboards overhead, bending the wood ever so slightly along with the sound of muffled voices. Curious, she places a dirt streaked ear against the boards. I don't know, a girl whines. What if one of the counselors catches us? Shh, the boy hisses. Not so loud or they'll catch us. Come on, it's just a short run to the generator shed. It was topped up just before we went to bed. No one's going to check and no one's going to hear anything in this storm. It'll be fine. Okay, she agrees hesitantly, keeping her voice low now. Please tell me you've got a rubber. Of course I do. The two move as the boy pulls the girl towards the back door. After a moment, it opens and the two figures sprint for the shed, holding raincoats over their heads in scant protection against the elements. The girl under the cabin can only see their bare feet glistening in the light before the boy closes the door behind them, shutting out the flash from lightning striking the mountains in the distance. By her head is a discarded milk carton, maybe a decade old, with the picture of a missing child smiling at her, a little girl named Riley Dorsey. So, this is where random finds themselves.
Okay.
Now, the first thing that I am going to do is throw a couple of soft moves at you here.
Okay.
Both of them are complicate things, which don't won't really do much, but may become bigger problems later.
Understood.
So the first thing is the storm.
Okay.
It is pouring. It is a deluge. There's a gale force wind going on. It's almost impossible to hear. So the storm is definitely a complication here. The other complication is the two teenagers are about to do something that a movie monster would probably consider extremely disgusting and worthy of severe punishment, if not death.
Oh dear, oh dear. Don't want to. The movie can't start. The movie can't start.
Indeed. So, movie monster instincts is also in play. It, again, not an actual status or anything yet, but certainly a factor in the scene.
Yep. I'll put it down as a. I'll put the storm and the other one both down as a tag on my sheet for now.
Cool.
Okay.
So yes, it's a fairly large log cabin to set the scene a bit. Random is currently curled up underneath the front deck. She can see the lake with a pier that leads to several boats that have been pulled up onto the shore and turned over so that they wouldn't fill with water and sink.
Okay.
There's the generator in the shed out back, which has a short walkway between the cabin and it. It's the grounds around here are well kept. Well, within 5-10 feet of the cabin at least, they're well kept. You can't see any sort of vehicle or anything like that. It's probable that this is some place you have to hike to
Right.
at least a short distance. The sky is very dark blue gray from horizon to horizon, where you can, well, you can't really see the horizon because you're in a bit of a valley here, but above the mountains.
Okay. I
What is your move?
against her better judgment, she is going to start try to discourage those teenagers from doing anything. And since she's in a dark and scary place out of which monsters can arise, and they are moving to another such place, she's going to try to, I think it would be change the game to open doors to the garden to connect this place to the other place.
Okay.
I know I'm not supposed to name the move, are I?
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
That's fine. So what is your goal with connecting this place to the other place? Are you going to move there, or are you planning to move from point to point?
Uh, the way the garden works is she opens a door to another place that's the garden. Then she has to get to another place in the garden that she can open another door from. And she'll connect the second door to the generator.
Cool. Okay. That does indeed sound like it changed the game. I will only require you to do one though to move from to move through the garden, basically. I'm not
Yep.
going to make you do two.
Okay. So I'm tagging doors to the garden and appear out of nowhere. And I I think that will do it at the moment.
Okay. You don't want to tag dark shadows and flickering lights?
I want to use that later.
Okay. Let's see here. Not sure whether to tag the monster kills or fear of exposure. I will leave that to you. Tag one or the other.
This is pretty much the monster kills.
Okay. Bit eager here.
Uh, yeah, she's going in a little bit.
Um, just to perhaps alleviate some of your stress here, if it gets to the point where she might do something violent, I have a thing that's going to happen to stop it.
Okay, cool. I kind of figured it wouldn't go too far at the beginning because it's a little bit too early to have that come to a climax.
Oh, yes.
um. Okay.
This would be a much darker. If we started off with a player character murdering two teenagers, that's probably a bit too dark.
Yep.
Okay, make the roll.
Hmm. Okay. Creating a story tag of path from here to there, path from under the cabin to the. I'll just start path through the garden right now.
All right, that is on the it's on the sheet too. You're going to add that to Riley's character sheet.
Yeah, it's underneath with the statuses and tags. So she is going to a what she kind of twists out with one finger. I'm going to say it's her little finger. Twirls it around in a circle, and part of the shadows get a little bit darker and thicker, and she reaches into it and comes out through another place that looks vaguely like a less hostile xenomorph hive. There are some strange little lizards that are moving along the floor, and she zips along between the darkened corridors with the slick kind of organic walls and goes towards another place where there is an opening that leads out to darkness, and she starts moving her ring finger to open another door there and come out in a dark corner of the generator room.
Yes. Yes, there is quite a few dark corners in this room. It's a combined generator room and storage area, so there are several ubiquitous crates that are shadowed. There's only a single light bulb hanging in this room, which is rocking a little bit from the action of the storm on the walls. There's primarily a lot of making out going on in the corner of the room. There, somebody's dragged a sleeping bag onto the floor in preparation. At least they thought that far ahead.
Oh,
But no clothes have come off yet.
okay. So, doesn't matter whether what kind of monster she is, and if this starts now, the rules come into play. If the rules come into play, the movie starts because the rules are in play. So have to stop that. So she's going to try. She's going to start chant, repeating, "The hound terrifies. The hound terrifies. The hound terrifies." And as she does that, there's going to be just the environment's going to be switching over towards a horror movie environment. Kind of obviously, the shadows are going to get thicker, the lights are going to flicker in uncomfortable ways,
Hmm.
and my intention is to try to scare them out of here. And what she's going to do with the Hound Terrifies is she's going to make a low growling noise. So like the Hound of the try to scare him away via like Hound of the Baskervilles type thing.
Hmm. Wondering if this is a change the game. I don't believe it's a hit it with all you've got. I think it's another change the game.
It sounds like it very well could be.
Hmm. So yeah, let's go with that because you're trying to give them a status of frightened.
Um, well, it could also be a convince, but yeah,
It could be, yes. Would you prefer to do that?
I think convince is more to the point.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And now I'm doing dark shadows and flickering lights, and I'm
Monster movie mantras.
yep. And I think that will cover it. I think.
Remember to mark attention on your defining event.
Thank you. I just did.
Okay.
And she would probably have take on her shape and face would take on more canine features while she's using that particular mantra.
Interesting.
She one of her power tags is still looks human, so she it'll probably be mostly hidden, but her default form is generally not on the surface.
Well, she's still hiding at the moment. She's not actually coming out to give them a scare.
True enough.
Um, okay, I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay. Can I tag the storm?
It's not actually a tag.
Oh well. Okay.
Um, it might be a bit later.
Got it. Let me go ahead and roll the convince. Ooh.
Yep, so you inflict a status 2 on them.
They can choose to either take the status or to give in a little.
Oh, they'll give in.
Yeah.
Um,
But protect their own agenda. So they might come looking for the sound.
um, hmm. Actually, no. I think I'm going to give them the status 2 of frightened.
Got it.
Status 1 would have been spooked or something like that. Anyhow, uh, so the shadows close in and they ca- they're called to the attention by this howling in the distance that, well, not in the distance actually, really close by, which scares the jeebers out of them. um and they run screaming from the shed right into a a tall brown-haired man wearing a polo shirt, sensible tan, uh, Actually, no, it would be blue jeans because hiking and such. He looks down at them both, glaring from where he's standing in the doorway. They nearly bowl him over, crying and ranting about wolves. The older gentleman tries to calm them down. Hey, 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 it's all right. It's all right. What the hell happened? You hear some um talking back and forth. He gets a one of those heavy uh flashlights that's used for, when you're hiking and such like that. Tough, rugged, waterproof. Throws a raincoat over his shoulders, closes the door behind him. Mumbles to himself something about wolves. There aren't any wolves within. Oh, never mind. Just. Oh, I'm going to kick their asses when I go back in there. He opens the door to the shed, shines the flashlight around. Are you gonna hide?
I think she will definitely try to hide, yes.
Sounds like a sneak around.
Yes, it does. She's going to go ahead. She's doesn't have anything active for climbing on ceilings or walls right now, so it's going to be sneaking around in the dark corners.
Well, I would say monsters can hide.
Oh, right. Okay, monsters can hide. I think I will go ahead and dark shadows and flicker,
Yep.
flickering lights, and heightened situational awareness.
I would go with that, yes.
Okay.
I am going to tag fear of exposure.
Got it. Okay. And time to sneak around. Oh dear.
So, Random is trying to hide by climbing behind one of the crates into the darkest corner she can find. Unfortunately, she hits something on the wall which was precariously perched on a nail, and it falls with a clatter. Laurie turns the flashlight down that way and hello there. He takes several steps forward and finds Random crouched in the corner. Torn clothes, just like grey overalls and such that she was given.
Probably a number somewhere.
His look immediately turns from fear of any possible wolf or anything like that to apparently genuine concern. he says, "Oh, hey, um." He puts the torch down, pointed away from her a bit, but still enough that the reflected light illuminates the area, and kneels down and says, hey, hi, I'm Laurie. I'm sorry, I wasn't. Where did you come from?
I came from the garden.
God? Okay. Oh, God, you're soaking wet. You must be freezing. He takes off the raincoat, um, and then holds it out at arm's length for her.
She's going to narrow her eyes and accept the raincoat and kind of snatch it.
And he lets it go, holds his hands up, like showing that he's not trying anything. Um, like I said, I'm Laurie Murray. I'm a school counselor. I'm here looking after some kids. We're on a hike camp thing. Um, what's your name?
And first thought is going to be this is the first time she gets asked her name. So this is where she thinks back to her escape and one of the guards calling out she's random and pops and says, I'm random.
Random. Okay. Um, nice to meet you, Random. Would would you like to come inside? We've got a fire going. I can get you some soup. We can work out how to get you home.
She kind of definitely she kind of does the puppy dog head tilt for a moment on the soup and warmed up, and then kind of shrinks back at the kind of you know kind of tenses at the word "get you home."
Oh, not if that's a problem. We can get you someplace safe. How about that?
And soup soup is good.
Okay. All right. Soup it is. Come on inside. He gets up and goes over, holds open the door for her. It's a bit wild and woolly out there.
Storms at the start, always at the start.
So he shepherds her into the log cabin. The kids that she just scared the bejeebers out of, get a momentary, like a jump scare when they see her dirt encrusted, soaked to the bone. Um,
Is there a momentary flash of lightning where they see what's beneath the human glamour?
yep. Um, the guy screams and runs upstairs, um, while the girl sort of looks like she's trying to become part of the couch that she's sitting on. Uh, Laurie just rolls his eyes and moves random into the kitchen and says, "Yeah, wolves. No, no wolves. Guys, come on. Like, no more sneaking off of whatever. Um, I'll deal with Chad later. Come on, I promised you some soup. I deliver some soup." Hmm. So Laurie pulls out got all sorts of flavors. Got canned beef soup, corn, chicken and corn.
So Random is sitting here trying to think of movies she's seen with soup in them and which ones might be for, lead to the particular set of rules she would prefer to be, which would be the good monster. And can't really think of any in particular, so points randomly at one.
Oh, sweet corn. Okay, let's get this started. Um, would you like to sit in here while I cook, or the fire's out in the lounge room? You can introduce yourself to Lucy. Let her know that you're not going to eat her face.
She blinks at, kind of cocks her head to one side to the other, looks over to Lucy, and blinks. Okay. What would it be to try to keep the odd behavior to a minimum? Would that be sneak around again?
I would say it's sneak around, but you've got a few tags that you can do for that. I don't think I see any weakness tags to add to it. So yes, a sneak around or a convince. Possibly a convince if you're trying to make it so that Lucy's not so scared of you.
I think I think she probably considers it relatively. It'd probably be more complications. More fear might start the movie sooner. So yeah, we'll do convince.
Okay.
So I'm going to mark still looks human,
Indeed.
pretend to be human,
This is a good one.
and monsters can hide.
This is good. And I'm not marking anything. I'm going to say that works like taking away the frighten.
I think so. It would work counter to the frightened. So I think would and would even add one on top. She looks kind of like a relatively small and scraggly teenager. So
Yeah. Yeah, so after a little while Lucy kind of gets used to it and says, "Oh, wow, you scared the daylights out of her son." She's sort of seeing the look on Chad's face. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're, you really need a bath, though. I'm gonna get you some clothes. She says before heading upstairs to the bunk room.
clothes are good.
Laurie comes out with the easy soup, puts the bowl on the coffee table in front of Random. gives us some space, lets her eat for a bit. Um, when he thinks she's feeling a bit better, says, "So, I'm sorry, you said you came from the garden, but are you a runaway?"
And she kind of looks up a little bit. Yes, I ran away.
I see. Bad home?
Yes.
Alright, well it's gonna be okay, Random. I can definitely get you the help that you need, okay? We were going to stay here for a little bit longer, but I think it's probably a best idea if we all take you back to base camp. We can call some people and get you some help, okay?
And she's kind of looking around and thinking through various plots, trying to decide what the likelihood of that leading to bad things happening is. And the comes to her what comes to the decision, she's basically of the mind that most likely it's less likely to come to bad things than if they just stay out here. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, that's what the hell is that? Saying that, Laurie stands up and walks over to the front window. Looking where he's looking, Brandon can see a small dot traveling across the sky that just came over seemed like it came right out of the clouds over the mountain. Says, what, somebody's crazy enough to fly through this? What? Just as he's saying that, a bolt of lightning blinds him for a moment, has to shield his eyes from the flash.
Okay, I'm
There is now a trail of smoke descending down from the sky towards the lake. Probably the other side of the lake.
Random's going to get up and run to the door to try to see if she can watch the thing falling and see what it is. Oh, vampire see in the dark. Vampire see in the dark. Vampire see in the dark.
Okay. Is this even a roll?
Up to you.
I'm going to say no. I will just give you the information. It is a plane. What sort of vision abilities will Random have?
It depends on what mantra she's running at the time. By default, she's a little bit better acuity because of just the whole heightened situational awareness type stuff.
Okay, well, it's a large cargo plane in silver. It looks older, though, like what we would consider a World War II era plane.
Oh dear.
It crashes into like beyond the tree line and then slides towards the lake, crashing through trees and everything. Random can also see something has been thrown from was thrown from it just before impact.
Does she see where the thing that was thrown from it fell?
she could take a pretty good guess at it.
In the lake?
Yes. Uh, the craft finishes its descent in the lake itself. Um, Bernie and all. Laurie goes over to like runs over to the phone, which is a big rotary phone. So as he's dialing the number for the police, it takes a long time. Tick 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 tick.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah. Um, but as Random probably expects, he swears at it vociferously and throws down the receiver and says he's dead.
What have you learned to do well together? Who has
Oh,
got.
you got the full word. My copy says, "What have you learned to do well together?"
No, I have that too. I just decided not to read.
It's for the bloopers. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. It's a funny little typo in the book. So it's kind of a juggling thing. Like right now, the silver circle's really powerful on your character.
oh yes, and but I don't want that to go away because it's a big narrative part of the character. Not until I can get the HQ thing.
Right. There's so, and I mean, the I love this about this system is you can crack the themes you want to crack and keep the themes you want to keep.
Mm. And the funny thing is, I think the Silver Circle is just as, if not more powerful than my adaptation ones that I've had on other characters, or even my divination one I've had on other
Yeah. Oh, it's there would probably be some people who would say it borders on being a mythos theme already.
Well, yes, this is true. But that's
I kind of like it the way it is because right now there it's mythic, got the mythic resonance and stuff to it, but it's not blatantly supernatural. And we're talking about the other game, so
oh yes, but that's okay. You have editing powers.
oh, I hit reset. Bloody! I am always doing that. I'm gonna fix it.
It's okay.
Okay, change the game.
I'll deal with Chad later. Come on, you. I promised you some soup. I deliver some soup. Um,
Of course, his name is Chad.
yeah.
Random points randomly. Random meal.